Howdy everyone, this is Grakef. This is going to be the start of a tutorial series for Kerbal Space Program, and I just wanted to bring you along, and we'll go through just a few items, starting a new save, as well as launching your first rocket. So without further ado, let's get into the game. Alright, so when you first get into Kerbal Space Program, you want to click on Start New. We're going to, or Start Game and then Start New. We're going to give this one name of YouTube. Let's see here, YouTube. Begin. There we go. Okay. Pretty simple, straightforward. There's lots of little things you can customize there. But yeah, after you do that, you'll be here in Gene Kerbin. We'll give you some help. So it'll say, welcome to the Space Center. You know, you can find out, look around using your right mouse, and then, and you can right click on facilities or left click to find out about them. So here we go. We can right click on the mission control. It gives you a little bit of description. It allows you to upgrade that. And so the basics we have here is the space hangar, spaceplane hangar, mission control, vehicle assembly building, launch pad, tracking station, research and development, astronaut complex, administration building. I'll talk about each one. Oh, and forgot the runway over here. I'll talk about each one of these a little bit more as we get to them. Most important for your first mission and launching your first vehicle, it's going to be mission control and the vehicle assembly building. So we want to go into mission control, and here you can pick up your contracts, which allow you to get more money and science and reputation. To select your contracts, you just can click the green check mark up here, or if you want to deny a contract for whatever reason, you can go ahead and click that red one, and it'll generate with different contracts. You can't click the red one on like the key contract, the milestone contracts. So, all right. Part of the contracts, you usually have a little blurb here that talks about that. You'll have a prestige, so this one is trivial. You can trivial, and so you'll notice it also has 1 star here. This one is significant, so 2 stars, and then exceptional to 3 stars. You'll get your objectives, and so you're able to say recover. For this one particularly is recover, transmit science experiments. And then the here's your total bonus, 6,400. You will get an advance generally on all contracts, and then you get another chunk for completion. So if you're a little short on change, you can grab a couple of contracts, which will give you more money to build rockets. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and take this science one, and we want to launch our first vessel. So these are 2 really easy ones. Notice I'm now at the max active contracts, and we can see our active contracts here. Whenever you want to leave a facility, up in the top right is the leave facility button. Now we're going to go over to the vehicle assembly building. All right, here in the vehicle assembly building, we're going to run into Werner von Kerman. He's going to explain some stuff here about right click and the arrows. Feel free to read through that. The other item for you down here in the bottom right is a couple of menu items. The one that will be probably the most helpful as you're beginning your Kerbal Space Program journey is the KSP. You can come in here and learn about just about everything in the game. So if you want to learn about the basics of rockets, forces, stability, center, all that stuff, that's right here. If you wanted to learn about the controls of the game, so your general controls, up, down, left, right, take screenshots, all that stuff, right? So that's all available here. If you wonder how I am like rotating a part or something like that, you'll find that information in here. Okay. All right, to start our rocket, we're going to need a root part. Only certain parts can start a rocket. You can have like your pods, fuel tanks, or another one that can, boosters, so on and so forth. But certain parts, such as like these fins, they're expecting to attach to another part, so they can't be a root part. You have to have something else down at that time. The root part is the main part of your rocket. So we're going to go ahead and pick the command pod to take care of that. We need something to push us upwards, or it's not going to be a very exciting launch. So we're going to grab a flea booster. This is the very basic booster. And parachute. And that's all we need for our first rocket. To make it a little bit easier on us, I'm going to go ahead and add some basic fins. All right, so I'm going to press R and make sure that my symmetry is set to radial. You can do mirror or you can do radial, and then I'm going to press X, and that's going to give me more fins based radial around my vehicle. So there's 2. We can't really see the one on the other side, and now we have 3. 3 is really nice and stable. Probably going to be a choice for almost all rockets. Sometimes you're going to have boosters though, and so the 3 fins will get in the way. Just for the sake of looks, I want to bring that just a little bit this way so that that fin a little bit more lines up with the door. There we go. Okay, so we now have a basic rocket. I'm going to call this one the Grasshopper. That's for me, kind of a steady thing that I always do. All right, one more thing before we launch, though. I want to make our rocket just a little bit safer. The flea solid booster has a lot of thrust for just this little rocket. So I want to take down our solid fuel, which is going to, it won't burn as long, and I'm also going to take our throttle down a little bit. So you can see those numbers here and how they are affected. We'll have 9 seconds of burn, and our thrust to weight ratio comes down a little bit there. So, all right, I'm gonna save that, and we'll go ahead and launch it. Okay, so now we're on the launch pad. We can see the vehicle assembly building over there and some of the various other buildings. So, our contracts, we had 2 items we needed to do. We need to gather scientific data from Kerbin, and we needed to launch a vessel. You'll notice there's some notes here about what those are about as well. Okay, one of the ways that we can collect scientific data is via a crew report. And you can get to that by right-clicking on the command pod, which will bring up a context menu here with various features. And down here at the bottom is your crew reports. So the Kerbin is going to fill out a little report here, and it'll be about the area they're on. This is the launch pad, and they recorded the crew's assessment of the situation. So we can keep that science. Also, since we're landed, our pilot can go ahead and go on an EVA, and if we right-click on them, we can get a similar context menu. So this shows our we can do an EVA report as a type of science. And they'll do an EVA report from the launch pad. I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here, was it? Nope. Very breathable atmosphere. Everything looks situation nominal. Okay. Now if we right-click on our command pod, you'll notice that the context menu is different. So we can go ahead and either store our EVA report on board, or we can take our crew report out. If we take our crew report out now, that'll allow us to get an additional crew report after we launch. So I want to go ahead and do that, and then I will board the vessel. Now if we click on, sometimes it takes a little bit there. There we go. We'll see that we have 2 stored data, and our crew report is available again. But since we already have this one, we really aren't going to need that one. but you can always review those that are here. So that shows the crew report and the EVA report. If you don't want a particular one, it looks like you got a duplicate or it's not worth the science, you can get rid of it that way. Oh. Let's go ahead and... Oh, interesting. Yeah, sometimes there be bugs here. Okay, well, I'm just going to pull that off to the side. We're not too worried about that right now. So to launch, to go through the stages of our vehicle, first stage here is our flea booster, and to ignite that, we just press spacebar, and up we'll go. 9 seconds of burn, and I'm going to quickly click on our rocket, and since we're now off the launch pad, we can do another crew report, and this one will say that we're over the Kerbin Shores, so we want to keep that experiment, and we can click keep on those other ones to get rid of that. That's how we get that to go away. Okay, well, we have successfully launched our first rocket. You'll notice here is our surface speed, and here's our vertical speed, and reached an altitude of 5,000 meters. You can go ahead and press spacebar again. That will deploy your parachute. You'll notice it is partially deployed, depending on how it was set up. It won't fully deploy until it reaches that minimum altitude. You can adjust that in the vehicle assembly building. All right. So here, as we reach 1,000 meters, it's going to fully deploy. And we're going to give Jebediah quite the little shock there. But now that it is fully deployed, our surface speed is going to come down and rest at 7 meters per second. To make this go a little bit faster, you can hit the less than or greater than symbols to adjust the time warp. So I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. And now we're at 4x acceleration, so things are happening much more quickly, and we're ready to land. But before we finish up this mission, it would be... Sometimes you run into this bug. Here, we're going to tip it over. Use the WASD to move your vehicle around. Oh, it doesn't think we're landed. Oh, it's because we got time acceleration. There we go. Let's try that again. There. Now it thinks we're landed. Okay. So, we're landed. Jebediah is kind of precariously perched, but I want to go ahead and take the data and store those experiments again and do one final EVA report. Keep that experiment stored, and then do another crew report, this time from the Kerbin Shores. So we've done one from the launch pad. We did both of them from the launch pad. We did a crew report while we were flying, and now we have a crew report and an EVA report available from Kerbin Shores. And so that's going to give us a nice little chunk of science. So now, if you're all done and collected all the science that'll help you along with your career, you can go ahead and recover your vessel. After you've recovered your vessel, you're going to get a nice little report here, and you can see the various science that we collected. We have some crew reports, and then our EVA crew report, and then finally we recovered a vessel that survived flight, and that's just one that you get. We didn't have to do anything to get that science, and it only happens the first time you do that. So okay, also we get our parts readout here. So because we're able to recover our vessel, we get a little bit of those funds back, and depending on our distance from the launch pad, or from KSC, you will get a certain percentage back. So that was 98%, and we got 1,200 back for that vessel. And we also recovered Jebediah Kerbin, and they gained 1 experience from that flight. So there you go. That's all the things you need to do to launch your first vessel. Hope you all enjoy this video and have a good day. Bye-bye.